Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the 4-hour time frame. And last we left off was somewhere around here about a week ago. And we were looking for the neckline of our inverse head and shoulders pattern that we are currently forming. Currently forming the right shoulder now. And we thought we had found it in this pink line that we drew here. And but no. Bitcoin continued on up further. We were looking for a excuse me, I had some sort of a frog in my throat. So anyway, yeah, we were looking for because we had been Stop. There we go. We had been moving upward here. And we were looking for a pullback. How far did we come up? Oh, from this. Wow, from all the way over here at 52. That low of 52, we were looking for another pullback to form our right shoulder. Thought we had it here. And, but no, we continued on just a little bit higher. From, we called this about 64.8. We continued up a little higher to 66.5 about. And I do believe that this green aqua colored line that we hit on this candle wick on Friday, September 27th, 2024, in the 12 o'clock hour UTC. I do believe that this is the start of our right shoulder now. Now, I also, at that time, and I haven't had time to publish any of this stuff, did see that we were forming a triangular pattern here, in kind of a flag pattern, and it was conceivable that we could possibly explode from here. I did not believe that was the case, though, but I did lay that out. Now, when we broke above the triangle, it was a fake out here. Anyway, the conditions at the time led me to believe that this was not going to happen. It was potential. I did not think it was going to happen, but I did lay this out in case it could have happened. And that would have brought us up here to 69,000, our previous all-time high. That's why it was making a lot of sense if we did make that move. And that would have been our breakout move. I did not think the breakout was coming because it didn't make any sense. We still needed to form the right shoulder. Everybody else has been calling it head and shoulders pattern, but they are looking at the wrong data. Now I've switched from the US dollar, Bitcoin US dollar index chart to the Coinbase US dollar chart. And Bitcoin, excuse me. So, to show you a little bit more clearly what I'm looking at. So, you can see we've been traveling since FTX here, upwards in these green parallel channels. And then what we have here, a lot of people will show a bull flag pattern, which is true, but in that bull flag pattern, which isn't on this chart, In actuality, we've been traveling downwards in this purple channel within that bull flag pattern. So, and clearly you can see the very precise points we've hit in this purple channel here and there on the top and even here on the center line. And even here on the center line here. So it's very, very precise channels that we're traveling in. There's no arguing that whatsoever. And even here on the green channels, the center lines here and those 2 points there. It's very, very clear. And this goes way back. So, we are currently reversing from this downward path in the purple channel back up into our green channel. Now, I do believe we're not just simply going to travel up in this green channel as we've done in the past. We didn't just... What the hell is wrong with my... There we go. We didn't just travel in this channel. We went across. What am I trying to say? These channels aren't meant to constrain the Bitcoin movement. A lot of times, price action will move in various channels stacked one on top of another. See, we could stack this one. On top like that, and you can see how price action, look at how it's using the center line as support there and came right up to the top of that channel as well. And if we go back in time, we probably had some sort of interaction with these. Well, pretty accurately hit the top there during the FTX collapse. Probably got to go way, way back. If it does hit these channels again. Oh, we're on Coinbase, so we can't go back that far. We don't have the data. All right, so here we are moving upwards in these channels. So I do believe now that we won't just simply go here. We will travel upwards. This is the beginning of our parabolic run very shortly here. And it could kind of start going up here and then accelerate in November once the elections come. I do believe that that'll be the catalyst for a larger movement. Actually, probably just at the end of October. So, looking for that inverse head and shoulders. A lot of people are calling this the inverse head and shoulders. And it looks, I mean, it's really pretty obvious, except there is no neckline. Where's the neckline? Pretty much all the time I've been doing this, there's been a very clear-cut neckline. Now, we do have this purple line here, but where's our points? We have a little tiny shoulder here and a head here and possibly a bigger shoulder. It doesn't make any sense. It's not symmetric. It's not whatever. It's a freak. It's a freak of an inverse head and shoulder. So these are not the shoulders. This is not the head. That head is really kind of weird. This is just a big wick down. Cut that wick off, and you can see that this is the shoulder right here. This is the head. We just formed the neck. So let's actually try to draw the neckline here. From approximately there. Well, that's a big fat line. Over to here. Well, I guess we can just leave it that big and fat. So this would be our neck, this would be our head, and now we're forming the last shoulder right here. And I do believe we'll come down a little bit further here. Huh, maybe all the way down. Now, I've also stated for a long time now, October 9th, the CPI data release. Around that date will be our low. And that just happens to be right about there. My cursor is at around 57,250 here on the Coinbase chart. If you look to the left, you'll see that there are also support levels to our left. Right here at that point. That's about 57.5 right there. The lowest one right there, 56. So we could wick down to 56 here. And we aren't on the index chart. We are on the Coinbase chart. So things will be a little bit different. And so, yeah, consistent with what I've been looking at, we're forming the shoulder right now. Let's go back to our other chart. While we're here, let's look at the futures is trading 220, about 220 above spot, which is still pretty ballsy. I think we got some more pullback to do. Whoa, look at this. So these little tiny channels, these narrow channels that are heading downwards. Let's get off the daily chart and go to an hourly chart. Oh man, look at all this stuff. There we go. So on an hourly chart, first of all, let's go back in time because we have many of these little narrow channels. This is initially where I was considering the pullback, the shoulder to start forming, and but we were still trying to find that neckline. And so we don't need these. These are all perfectly I started drawing this channel. Come on. I drew this channel, as you can see, to match the price action here. Pretty accurately on the center line and the top of the channel there. And then I simply cloned that channel, moved it over. Because often what happens, you'll start heading down a channel and then you'll get a little pullback upwards and then keep going down the channel, a little pullback upwards, keep going down like that. So these channels, all I did was simply clone them and move them over and move them over and move them over. And when I did that, look, I mean, you can see clearly how the price action is following this channel that I originally made way back over there and simply cloned it and moved it over very accurately. And if I do that, you can see it even better how Here, it rode right along the bottom of the channel, came up to the top of the channel, moved right along the edge perfectly. Then came down across the channel, along the center line, back down across the channel. Pretty accurately hit right there. We got a bounce. We wicked down to the bottom of the channel, came back up, down the center line, came back up to the top of the channel, right to the center line. And often when we have this stuff, well, that's part of the, following the oscillators. And when they do this, they're simply going after liquidating people. The whoever they are just heading up, and let's liquidate these longs up here, or these shorts up here, and then let's dump down and liquidate these longs over here. And then we'll probably, I don't know where we're going to go, but have some sort of oscillation here. Maybe we even come back up to the top of the daily Gaussian channel here and then continue downwards more. So for right now, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Let's get rid of that channel. Make sure we're on the right one. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. You don't need all these things. I'll leave that arrow there. Get rid of that one. There we go. So, I did my part in cleaning up the environment here. Now, what's interesting is, so we have our green neckline there. And as well as that green neckline, what else did we bounce off of here? We bounced off this red line. We bounced right there at the intersection, pretty much, of this green line. Well, that's what we just drew, the green line there. But we bounced right here at the this red line right here. Oh, what is that red line? If you notice, that red line, well, that's our, I'll just give it away now. It's our bull flag channel. The red line is perfectly parallel to this orange line right here. And then the center lines of these various channels come into play down here. The red here is the center line of the red channel. Now, I've drawn various channels of varying widths to represent, and we'll just go to a daily time frame that can see it a little bit more clearly, to represent the bull flag here. And if I zoom out, let's just go way back. Here, where we don't have any other lines. This is our bull flag, the bull flag channels that I've drawn. Because there is no clear top and bottom. So I don't know how other people are drawing a single kind of bull flag, because the tops and bottoms are all at varying positions. So, but essentially, we've been trading in this area. Now, we never ever came up and hit the top of this orange here. We've only come up and hit the red and come all the way down to hit the white and red. Now, the red channel, other than the orange channel here, the others have the same base. The white channel and the red channel have, and the pink channel all have this base right here. And then the pink channel comes up to here, the white channel comes up to there, the red channel comes up to there. The orange channel is one of those channels, I think the white one, shifted upward. Or actually, yeah. The orange channel is the white channel shifted upwards. Or vice versa. Actually, I think the orange channel came first. I don't know. It was a long time ago. So, remember when I said we came up to the red line? We came up to the red line and got rejected there. That tells me that we will continue down to the red center line right here. At a minimum. We could come all the way down to the bottom of our entire channel formation. Now, what does that look like when we get back into the nitty-gritty here? Let me come back into the busy. Well, let's squish it together so we can get there faster. Here we are. Wow, look at that. That's where we're at. That's where the fun is. Now, those lines that are all askew, they're like that because I didn't anchor their points on a daily time frame. You have to anchor everything on Monday at 0 hours UTC in order for them to stay parallel across all time frames, except for the monthly, of course. But on weekly, daily, and hourly, they will all stay parallel to one another. So here we are. And these two really skitty channels are what we're traveling down now, forming our shoulder. We got rejected off the red line up here. So I do believe we will come down to the red center line, which is currently at 58,000, upper $58,000 range. Now, there is, and that would be, that's at the end of this week. But I was talking about October 9th, I believe, will be the low. And why is that? Because the CPI data release in October is the low of 2022, 2023, of many market cycles. So, and just go back and check that out yourself. We're not going to check that out in this video. And other than the FTX collapse, that was the bottom for 2022. And if you take out the FTX collapse, you will actually see, because that was about 2 months that we stayed down there. And if you take that out from October to February, was about a 60% increase in Bitcoin. And if you take FTX, that 2 month period out, that would bring that February date to the end of the year. So that would be a 60% move for Bitcoin from October 9th to the end of the year, which coincides with what a lot of other people are looking for by the end of the year. And that would bring Bitcoin up close to around $100,000. So October 9th, why is that moved over to October 10th? Anyway, it's right around where those two vertical lines are. And so that would make sense if, in fact, we did move, as I said, downwards and then sideways and then downwards, or up, downwards and then up and sideways and downwards and up and sideways and downwards over to October 9th here. Now, however, there is a really good possibility, because if we keep moving downwards at the rate we're going, that we could hit the bottom of the channel, like I said, by October 9th, which is around 49,000, oddly enough. And do I think that that's just going to happen naturally? I don't know if the Bears have the power to get us that far, but I would not put it out of the realm of possibility. And that would then give us a double bottom kind of thing going on here, and some sort of like a W, whatever, I don't know, or M or W or E. And if that is the scenario here, people arguing both sides that we're gonna, this is the end and we're going to zero, or it's the beginning and we're going to the moon. And of course, you're gonna hear all that stuff. So we could come down to 49K by October 9th. And maybe Iran nuking Israel would cause that. Something like that. Who knows? It's we gotta. And I don't really pay attention to the news much at all. I mean, not at all, actually, really. But I do look up. I do Google Israel to see what's going on in the Middle East, and it's pretty. My God, Israel's really going nuts, attacking all their enemies. So it could really get out of hand. I don't see how it's staying so contained, and it hasn't gotten much bigger yet. But and maybe because I just am Googling that specifically, that I'm getting the how the news media just not what they're selling. They're not reporting the news. They're selling advertisement. So they gotta pull in as many people as possible to get those ratings, to get the most out of their make the most from their advertising. So I don't know where we're going to end up. I think that we're going to end up here at about 58K, in the upper 58K region. We may wick down a little bit lower, and what that I would also do would be getting us around the area of the daily Gaussian channel here. You can see by the green dotted line. Maybe we don't even come down that far. Maybe we just make it to the center line of the Gaussian channel. I do think there's a good chance we hit 50 in the upper 58K, maybe a wick a little bit below that. And that makes sense, because if you listen to anybody, they'll tell you time and time again that everything's getting bought up at around $58,000-$60,000 region. So, and then from there, well, I don't know. Let's just get there first. But what I do think will happen is that that'll form our shoulder. Then we'll come back up here to our neckline. Where's November? November's over here. Well, we'll discuss that later. So I think we will start moving then, forming our shoulder. I kind of got a feeling we could see another pullback later in October, but I don't know how confident I am in that. Considering we're making this shoulder, maybe if we do, we'll start moving. I don't know. So that's where we're at. And like, subscribe, and see you next time. Or don't like, subscribe. Don't like and don't subscribe. But don't hate. Okay. And if you hate, just like and subscribe anyway. All right. We'll see you next time.